Alright, so this is going to be a full review of the Lethal Gaming Gear LA-1, and I do as well have the 4K dongle with it, so that just makes this review a little bit more in depth. So LG did send this out to me, so thank you to them, and use code YourCloudy. This video was supposed to come out a long time ago, but my package got lost in Atlanta, and yeah, so that happened. So they sent me a new one, so thank you to them. Now, so this is a mouse that's obviously been teased and seen for many, many months now, and it was at the point where I didn't even really know what to expect because it just got pushed back so far and so far. But when this mouse came out, like I just said, I was a little bit skeptical, but when I got it in hand, I realized, wow, this is actually a extremely quality mouse, or a extremely high quality mouse. So this is what it looks like. This is it's $80 on sale right now, and you can't use code YourCloudy. This is not sponsored. They didn't tell me to say anything, nothing like that. 52 grams, 33.95, 4K hertz, and I will just say now that the 4K hertz performs great on this, just like something on Pulsar or Lambs would performs flawlessly. One thing I did not mention, I'm just going to jump in and say it. The battery life on this mouse is 40 hours of continual use. So that is the battery life. I don't know why I didn't mention that. It has a 250 milliamp hour battery. I don't know why I didn't mention that. That's just adding that. Nordic MCU, obviously. Guano blue shell pink dot main switches, TTC gold scroll encoder, and stock core pads. And they do give you an extra pair in the box. This is the dongle. This is the 1K hertz dongle. It does not say LA-1 or anything on the actual piece right here, so I wish that they would do that. That would be nice. And it just has their little logo on it here. I wish that they would like make this more known, but it does have like the lethal on the 4K hertz. It has like the Lethal Gaming Gear here. I wish they would put like an LA-1 or something like that just to make it known. And the cable that they give you is, I'm not even going to put it back in the box. It's just a standard braided cable. It's nothing amazing, nothing great. It is USB-C. So, yeah. Now, when you open the box, you are greeted with a few things. You're greeted with a rubber cable as well. So, the weird thing was that the rubber cable came with the 1K hertz dongle for some reason, and then this cable came with the 4K hertz. So I've used both. I don't think there's a problem with 4K on either of these cables, but I'm just gonna stick to using the one that came with the 4K hertz dongle. And in here, you just get some extra feet. That's what you get in the box. I wish they would have added, like some grips or something like that, because they do have so many partnerships, but it's kind of whatever. Now, we're going to get on to actually, I'm going to talk about the shape first. So, the shape is a pure claw shape. If you don't claw, don't even look at this mouse. The dimensions are 122 millimeters long, 57 millimeters wide, and 38 millimeters at its tallest point. So, the way I see this is a refined XM1/ZA. That's exactly how I see this. If you took the ZA and XM1 and put them together, this is what you get. And it's an amazing claw shape. I much prefer this over the X2 shape, and I much, much, much prefer this over the Lamzu Atlantis shape. I think this is a better shape for claw than both of those mice by a significant margin. This is exactly what I wanted the XM1 to be. It does kind of have that little bit aggressive back, but it has curvature and it's not too wide. That was my problem with the XM1, was it was super, super wide in the back, and it just made my palm really uncomfortable. But this is a very, very wide shape, and it has very steep finger grooves, which your fingers just sit in. And it's a very nice shape. So if you claw, I guarantee you'll love this shape. This is, I think, smaller, not super small hands, but I'd say this is like a medium-sized hand mouse, like a small to high end of medium-sized shape. So yeah, now we're gonna move on to the main buttons. So the main buttons feel great. They feel a lot like the the OGM Cloud clicks. They are blue shell pink dots. They feel just like how blue shell pink dot should feel. Very, very nice, very, very crispy. There is a little pre-travel, but that's just how that's how Huanos are. They're supposed to be. And there's also a little post-travel. That's how Huanos are. That's how they're supposed to be. But it's a good amount. It's not bad. It's good pre and post-travel. And there is a little bit of button wobble, which when you force it is a lot. Like I will say that there's a lot when you force it, but you don't feel that at all in game. There's no feeling of that in game. Now here's a sound test. Right and left click. Side buttons. Scroll wheel. Rattle test. So I just went over the main clicks. I will say that there is a little bit of rattle in this. That is the scroll wheel, but the scroll wheel is not even really, it's only loose side to side. You don't feel that like when you actually have your finger on the scroll wheel, it's tight. It's just when you physically force it and move it, then you can move it. So it's really nothing to worry about, but there is looseness in the scroll wheel. But the scroll wheel feels fine. The steps are very defined. The band has some rubber bumps on it, and it's a nice tactile scroll wheel. Now, the side buttons are very weird. So the side buttons have a little bit of pre-travel and very minimal post-travel on both of them for me, but they're not very tactile. They feel sort of mushy, but in a good way. They're mushy. They feel more like mouse clicks than they do side button clicks, if that makes sense. If you like very tactile side buttons, this is not for you. These are very short throw, clicky side buttons. That's what they are. They feel kind of like mouse clicks. They almost feel like an EC side button in a way, and they're decent size, and they are glossy, and they show fingerprints they get pretty sweaty and slippery on the side buttons, honestly, but the side buttons are fine. If you like mouse click kind of side buttons, they are not tactile. I just want to make that clear. The scroll wheel, the click is quite heavy in my opinion. It's definitely not a click that you're going to be spamming at all. So if you are a scroll wheel click spammer, you're not going to like this. And I can push the side buttons in if I want to, but I have to really force that, and there's no real like creaking or anything like that on this mouse. And now on the bottom, you get a QC pass sticker, you get your polling rate, and you get your DPI. So you get your standard DPIs 400, 800, 1600, 3200, and then your polling rates for all the way up to 4K if you have the 4K dongle, up to 1K if you have the 1K dongle. You have your on and off switch, and the sensor placement is right in the middle. Now the feet, I don't even really have to comment on their core pads. They're great. You do not need to replace them. They are already aftermarket feet. They feel fine. Now the coating is very chalky. It's a chalky coating. If you like chalky coatings, you will like this. It's kind of similar to the Lamzu coating in a way. And yeah, you can get this in black and white. You have the LGG logo, and there is a charging indicator here. And when you plug in your mouse, you also do see the charging indicator. I don't know why it shows red. That is one problem I have had, is when I plug this in, it doesn't update the color of the charging on my mouse. So I'm not quite sure what that's about, but it does when I plug it into the dongle. The software, I'm not even really going to go over it. It's a very minimalistic software. It has your main features like polling rate, debounce, stuff like that. The stock debounce on this, I think, is 8 milliseconds. You can turn this down to 0, and I have not had any double clicks. So that's me in this video. This is a great mouse. I do prefer this mouse over the Lamzu Atlantis and the Pulsar X2. I do. So I would not say that this is a better mouse than the Starlight 12, obviously still, but I would say it's right in line with the Lamzu and Pulsar. It just depends on the shape. That's really the difference between the three, is the shape. So if you claw, I highly recommend you looking into this, or if you like the XM1 or ZA, I would also recommend you looking into this. And that's me in this video. Peace.